All right. Um, so I just want to show off these two new card backs I made. I'm gonna put them up on my Patreon here in a second, and then I'm gonna stick them on Talishar so that we can get the squares and stuff. Maybe mess around with the edges of these squares a little bit. Um, um, So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the point of these card backs, like all of these designs that I created, are all meant to be sort of. I don't like how a lot of the artworks are like one artwork again and again for card backs. So you're like, all right, I have my Vandal Spring Tunic card back. So you're shuffling it, you have it in your hand, and it's like you have like 1,000 spring tunics in your hand. So I wanted to create something that was more abstract and that you could like look at in bulk, and it kind of would flow together. So like I put out 6 here as if you're pile shuffling, and as you can see, they kind of flow into each other. And it's like it's super cool with these ones because they look like they become like one huge machine. So I just created some more abstract designs, and I use AI to do some of this stuff, but like as you can see, it's like a lot of pieces of my own work, and there's a back and forth process. I recorded some of the process, so I'm gonna try and make a video out of how I did it. And we'll see how the recordings went, and so look out for that. But yeah, just wanted to show these off. Got some lava themed ones for the hunted that I wanted to create, so I figured I would. So let's start off here with the first game, which was a really interesting game. I'm following up on that same theme, trying to find a double strike Cindra list. Dual threat, sorry, not double strike, dual threat. But my lists weren't working so good, so I went and checked out some stuff on Discord, and I got a homie to send a list. And so I'm gonna check with him, but hopefully we'll be able to post that. And yeah, so that was using his list. I had some much better games, and I think like I was getting close, but I'm guessing he did more back and forth. So like on that last gameplay, I was getting close. I was sort of feeling it out. But realizing like, yeah, double strike is a great card if it works, and it's not very hard. It's not super difficult to make it work in Cindra, but it and the fact that it's a yellow means you can use it offensively. But you kind of just want to run it in like a regular Cindra list. And so this list is basically like it's running like a sort of a mid density blue. I think it's like 9 blues and then 6 yellows. And so you have a decent amount. And then I kind of prefer the blue list because I think there's more gameplay there. You got more block 3s on the blues, so you can choose to block more often. You're sorting out hands, which is like what the red list is. It's like you're just, what order do I play the cards that I have? And it's sort of solitary, and I prefer playing blue Cindra, and I'm hoping to play some Poison Blade Cindra, and maybe even just do some Ira stuff, because the back and forth playing around the Mask of Momentum and the Flick Knives and stuff with the blue, because you can get 2 chain links out of daggers consistently, is kind of a more interesting battle, if you will, to me. So yeah, this first turn is kind of straightforward. I'm thinking about, do I just tick the flight path? He's got no cards in hand, and I have the demonstrate devotion, but like, it's not really doing a meaningful on hit, and I'm not feeling so behind in damage, or you know, not behind. I'm way ahead. He started out with what, 38 health, and I'm got him down to 33 on turn 0, or maybe turn 1. No, turn 0. So that does feel pretty valuable, and then I get an arsenal card too. And so I'm just going to take this first one. I got an all red hand, so part of me is going, okay, don't exactly know how I'm going to orchestrate this. I'm going to try and present some mask triggers. And so I'm just going to take. I take all of his attacks. I got a 5-card hand now. So I want to use one of these Brand with Cinder Claws to send the dragon power, but I have 2 different cards that have 1 cost, and I've already spent one of my blood splatter stain counters, so it's going to be interesting to see. And then it's not, because he does a collapsing trap, and I'm like, all right, I guess we're pivoting now. So I draw into 2 dual threats, which is interesting. It's the dual threat list. And yeah, Riptide's funny. Riptide doesn't feel so bad to play against. Like, he's got the traps and stuff, and it feels like it should be annoying, but it's not just like insane disruption. Like you know, playing assassin sometimes not the most fun. But yeah, fully pivoting. One of the things about, I guess that's one of the things about these aggro lists is, like, personally I feel like some of these aggro lists are kind of boring from a design standpoint when the list is set up to just be like there's lots of cool stuff happening for sure. Like throwing the daggers, recurring daggers, very cool, but when you're playing the red line Cindra, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna try and sequence these, and there's a little bit of like, I'm gonna try and sequence them so my mask triggers, but there's not a whole lot of like, do I need to hold this over for next turn? But I guess you do have quite a lot happening in terms of playing against your opponent. So like a disruptive opponent like Riptide just totally switched up my hand, and then I had to decide what to do. Again, it kind of became a sequencing thing, but it was like, do I use these dual threats offensively? Do I give up on this turn? And I decided I'll generate a stain counter and swing the daggers, and I can still proc the dual threats, and that's 6 damage that I can get out of, you know, losing a card. Like, I think that actually worked out super well. It's lucky that I drew into 2 dual threats because I needed an extra resource to be able to pay for demonstrate devotion. But yeah, it was a pretty cool turn. So I'm sending 7. He's trying to figure out what to block. And it's not a mass trigger, obviously. That's the one thing, it's like, it's a little bit tricky. Oh. And then I decide, actually, yeah, send 2. I decide to break my blood splattered vest real early. A lot of times I feel like I don't end up using the whole stack of blood splatter. So it feels like the right time to be just ripping it out early. To hand fix the broken hand that he served me and be able to get my daggers back is like super valuable. I do not like ending a turn with no daggers. So here comes an endless arrow. I'd like to block this because I don't want him to be able to get it back and put this in arsenal. And so I'm like trying to figure out, I have dragonscaler flight path up, so I'm trying to figure out if that makes sense. And I can put up lava burst. Let me know in the chat if you have an idea if that's actually a good move. Because I feel like probably Cindra, sometimes I'm over blocking. I'm just like a little bit warrior pilled. And yeah, it's like I dragon power now. I'm gonna try, I guess with dragon power I can go dagger, and then because I'm kind of on the blue list, I can send enough attacks to try and get to a mask trigger, which is like kind of, I guess, the whole game plan. I'm like so confused about this blaze headlong because yeah, I haven't played a red, so it doesn't have go again, which is like surprising to me. I'd rather send the blaze headlong on that turn because it has slightly more damage and hopefully it gets over the top with 4. But ultimately, it kind of works out. He's gonna have to block twice if he wants to prevent mask from filling my arsenal. I'm gonna send the blaze headlong here. I sent the kunai before. And now he's got a block with equipment and the E-strike. He prevents me from filling arsenal, and I go, oops, I meant to do Cindra. So here's me running that turn back and getting the Cindra off. He let me undo, which was nice. I think Rabble was the first thing he sent, or was it not? Yeah, Rabble was the first thing. I proc my Cindra back up, yeah, so he sends the Rabble. I guess I'm like on 3 blues. I'm trying to figure out how to block. Obviously, throw dagger is kind of a sweet blue because it kind of can replace itself. So I can send. I need to send a dagger to start the chain. Then I can send hot on their heels along with throw dagger. And then I guess no matter what I end up drawing into, I can arsenal it if it doesn't work. I can spend my leftover resources to get my daggers back, which is good. These frailty traps are super effective. It's like a great counter to Cindra. That is one of the cool. I mean, this game does have such a great, like, rocks paper scissors gameplay of go wide versus not. With stuff like frailty trap just shutting down this deck that goes so wide. So I draw into the Art of the Dragon Blood. I can send it. I think because Flick Knives is up, that's my like reason behind trying to set up mask. I think that mask is actually onto that thing, and Talishar is like not perfect. So I'm gonna try and send this dagger and then proc the mask, but then I forgot because it's hiding behind the combat chain that I have a frailty. And then again, one of the things that I'm like not so sure, haven't played quite enough games to know, is and if you're still watching and you know, please comment or comment your opinion, because again, trying to learn. And it'll be helpful for anyone else. if it's good to send 5-card hands, or if it's good to have that card in Arsenal. I think because that card will help me to reduce the cost of other cards. Like I use it effectively on the next turn. I'm remembering that now. So yeah, I think having that card in Arsenal is a good thing. And he's sending Remorseless with Codex of Blood Rot. And I'm just going to take it. Because I think I can, with dual threat and 5-card hand, send a really powerful attack this turn. Although, potentially, I'm thinking about not trying to proc the dual threat because of the Wrath of Retribution. If I can send Wrath of Retribution fairly early, and because I don't have a blue, I'm thinking maybe I can just go super wide on this turn and just send a bunch of damage using the yellow of dual threat. Again, it works because it's yellow, and that's another reason it's such a dope card, is because it's a yellow 0 for 6. So I could can send Art of the Dragon Blood. I'm gonna have to pay for a kunai. Oh, wait. Hold up. Maybe I don't pay for dual threat. Or maybe I'm arsenaling it? I might arsenal it, because I don't want to break the combat chain, because I need to generate 3 links. Right? And I think that Wrath of Retribution makes your daggers free. But yeah, it's costing 1 less because of the because of the okay, yeah, so it makes it free, so I do actually get to use dual threat here, because I'm gonna break the chain, I believe, rather than trying to go as wide as possible. Oh no, I'm going wide. So I guess I'm just gonna arsenal the dual threat. Ripping the flight path. To send the burning blade dance. Okay, I'm gonna let this game finish, and then I'm gonna come back and revisit this turn, because I think that there's potentially better ways of playing this. It's cool that I was like, all right, time to just rip off everything. Oh, and I know I actually make a mistake. I accidentally don't recur the daggers, because obviously I have like the enormously long combat chain here. And the daggers are free, so I could instant recur them and then attack with them at least once more each for like so I should be flicking here. Oh yeah, so I can't recur them because the chain breaks. That's the thing I kind of think I was forgetting. But look, so chain, so I should have flicked a knife on that dagger, then recur the other knife, and then because it's free, probably might as well send the other dagger. That's an extra 3 damage. And I like close the chain and realize that and go, oops. And then he also mentions that this Riptide was cool. And so I lost at least 3 damage there. I'm not sure. I think probably if I had held the Burning Blade Dance and waited until after that whole chain, I could have thrown the dual strike there too, to send at least 6 more damage. So that's 9 damage that I missed out on in that one turn. I guess 9's not enough to kill him, but with Cindra to some extent, because I have so many different ways of threatening like small incremental damage, yeah. I mean, the big thing is even if I kept that turn the same way and just did the recurring thing before breaking the chain at the end there, it's just such a pain to undo that. I have to do the whole turn again, so I just didn't. Like, I saw that as soon as I broke the chain, but I just didn't because I didn't want to. He'd already hooked me up with the one undo. But yeah. Again, still Cindra, still a great deck, so I'm gonna keep fighting here. And so it's looking like dual threat's gonna stay in Arsenal for another piece of a turn. I get my daggers back. I keep 1 resource to be able to send this mark with magma. I broke the chain by accident. Meant to send the mark with magma here. It's too bad I don't have Blood Splatter Vest, which I think I used it well. I think my use of it early was good. But just trying to figure out, like, could I have sent dual threat here? But yeah. Oh. And that was my Arsenal gets destroyed, which, yeah, so because of the Arsenal destruction thing there was just a sequence of events that caused for a disastrous outcome. But I do have a lot of 3 blocks in hand. I'm checking my hand here, and Lava Burst, or the Dragon Blood, and Oath of Loyalty twice are 3 blocks, so I have enough to cover this up. And so I overblock because I can't be having him getting Endless Arrow back. And then I can send an Oath of Loyalty in response. Flicking, because I'm just trying to chip away at that health total. I'm hoping to luck into a Art of the Dragon Fire, I think, the one that does 2 damage, because then I could kill him without him having prevention effects. There's nothing he can do to stop me, but he has tempo. I have to block with Flick Knives on the Searing Shot. He held his Snapdragons. So yeah, basically I just got a little lax on this game. Rabble for 3 go again. I can block it wholly, so I might as well try. And then he sends a Codex of Frailty. And if it wasn't for the Codex of Frailty, maybe we'd still be here, but he gets to send another Searing Shot. I get to lose a card from hand, can't block, aren't allowed to put a D-React in Arsenal. So yeah, that card's cracked. kind of hope I really hope it sees a ban because of the upcoming thing, but yeah. And let's go back. Let's look at the dual threat turn. So this remorseless, right? I think I mouse over it. Did I not even mouse over it? So I'm pretty sure remorseless is the thing. Oh no. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what remorseless does. I'll check at some point. But here's my turn. That I just want to figure out if there's a better way to do it. So I go Art of the Dragon Blood, Blaze Headlong, Wrath of Retribution. This gets free, gets sent for free, and so that's cool because then my daggers are free. If I send this, that, I can then send one dagger. Hold up. The question is, on Wrath of Retribution, is it this combat chain? I think it's this combat chain, which is why I decided not to... Alright, let's see. Wrath of Retribution. When this attacks, yeah, so they get +1 and cost 1 less to activate this combat chain. So that's why I didn't send the dual threat at the end there, because it's like wasted resources. But again, the big thing was like, that was definitely the right turn, because then I can just arsenal the dual threat, and there's a great chance that with another 5-card hand, there's a pretty low chance that I can't send dual threat, and even if I can use it as 0 for 3. And so that totally feels like it's like because of the likely expected value of dual threat and arsenal, unless remorseless, but even if remorseless, I think remorseless might say like at the end of the next turn, it's like a delayed 1 turn inertia, but even that, it's like it doesn't matter because I should be able to get it off the next turn. So yeah, it's just that I missed that 3 damage, which to be honest probably cost me the game, which is why you gotta pay attention when you're playing Flesh and Blood. Mama always said so. Alright, well, let's check out the next game. Probably a better one. Alright, next game, we got Olympia. Was showing off the cardbacks before. I got the card back here. Still, it's red, but it's not lava-y. So that's why I was playing this game, and I was like, I need to make a new card back for this lava stuff. I like this card, by the way. I haven't mentioned Demonstrate Devotion. Feels like some real cyberpunk vibes. It's kind of cool how it's not Magic where it's like all over the place, but there's a few spots that Flesh and Blood art exists in, but it's cool that they come together and exist in those few spots and not, you know, again, all over the place. All right, I have turn 0. No, he put a card in Arsenal and passed me turn 2, which is great because I just get to sprint him down. I probably should put Wrath of Retribution in Arsenal here. I think I don't. I must. That would be so dumb to use both my daggers and then play it. Just because it's for free. 0 for 3. Go again. I don't think so. I think I must put this in Arsenal. Demonstrate Devotion is going to give me a fealty. That's good. Against Olympia, I haven't played Olympia a whole lot, so the game plan kind of is just race. I don't know what he does other than like generates gold and tries to clash, and he's going to win clashes, so not much to that. It's too bad that it doesn't generate a quicken token. It would be kind of interesting. But agility is not that useful. I guess Quicken's not that useful in like a ninja deck. Yeah, so my game plan is just to take in this hand I've got the blue but only one dagger, so it's kind of interesting. Maybe I'm just gonna use throw dagger to recur to send this dagger out, and then draw into a card. Although I guess what's interesting here is I don't have any chain starters. I could send the dagger first, but then you probably want to pay for it with throw dagger. Although I guess you send the dagger, then... Oh yeah, send the dagger with throw dagger, Wrath of Retribution. Yeah, this ain't it. Oh. Yeah, well I guess that the cost of this, if I don't have a starter, it's like kind of moot and you get +1 damage. So I was thinking you could send the dagger, Wrath of Retribution it, flick on the Wrath, recur daggers with Cindra, then send a dagger, because they do more damage, although maybe I just want to keep one of them and see if I can do mask triggers now. It's looking like maybe I'm about to do this. No. It doesn't really matter what order I send stuff in now. I guess I could try to push for a gap. So to be honest, Blaze Headlong should probably be the third chain link, because I'm pushing for a mask trigger, and a 4 breakpoint is better to send on an attack that they need to block than on a 3. So yeah, the dagger should have come in there. Don't know why that took them so long. Now display loyalty's coming. Expect them to... Yeah, this was just like a bad turn. I don't really know what I was doing here. Cause it's like, now they're gonna block. I used the flick knives. I'm wasting a dagger throw that I could have put in before for free. I can get my daggers back. Now I flick them for 2 each. And then send Hot on their heels. And he's blocking a lot, and I have tempo, and like, yeah, I'm way up, but that's subpar sequencing there. Getting hot amongst all this lava. He sends a CNC, and I think I don't have it on Arsenal, so I take the CNC again. It's a race. Yeah, I missed 2 damage, and like realistically a lot of better Mask of Momentum threatening on that last turn. On this turn, I don't have a chain starter. So all I can do is... This is like a I screwed up turn. But yeah, don't have a chain starter, so all I can do is send 1 attack. As Ancestral Empowerment, I can save for Arsenal or use on it. but I'm gonna need the other 2 reds to be able to recur the daggers. This is like I was saying, it's like, again, I totally shouldn't be empty of daggers and or have, basically I just screwed up the last turn. I think being empty after using whatever that daggers are free now, Wrath of Retribution is fine, but yeah, if I had Blood Splattered, it's like 25, 27, feels like basically the middle of the game. What's the turn? Turn 4. And I haven't sent Blood Splattered Vest yet. So I'm feeling like, oh, I can't do the dagger thing, which is too bad, to generate an extra resource. Which would have been a good way to pay for getting some of these daggers back. But whatever. I send it. Now I have a shelter. Probably want to try and use the shelter, although it's not like I have another arsenal candidate, so to some extent I could just save it for next turn and put it in the arsenal. Given that I think he's probably, given he has 2 cards in hand, gonna send Refraction Bolters on this. To send some more stuff. Oh, Warrior's Valor is gonna make it. I think Warrior's Valor gives it go again if it hits. No. I guess not. And he's gonna try and draw a card. I guess he didn't have a great arsenal candidate. I guess he didn't have a great arsenal candidate again. That is kind of cool. The gold giving you that ability to draw through your deck. It'll be interesting to see what if there's cool gold stuff, cool gold support in the pirate decks. I feel like I'm playing against people that are excited about pirates. We know that Cash In got banned, likely because of pirates. So both of these, I might even throw that in the video description, like how does Cindra fare against pirate style decks, because those are both some piratey plays. You know, Riptide's getting excited about pirates. So yeah, I wouldn't be sad about either of those. Olympia getting support would be awesome. Both winnable matchups on my Cindra deck once I learn how to play it good and stop messing up little things. Wait, I think I should. Yeah, I do, because I have R the Dragonfire. Hot on their heels. That card's an easy card to get go again with. Might as well flick. That other dagger's gone to the graveyard anyways. I should use the Ancestral Empowerment here, but maybe I just forgot about it. Yeah, I think I forget about Ancestral Empowerment because it's face down in my arsenal, and I go, oops, that's not a, oh no, that is a ninja attack, never mind. So I can still send it Art of the Dragonfire. It would have been better to send it before, because Art of the Dragonfire has no go again, although realistically I drew into Dragon Power, which I also can't give go again. Oh, but I did forget to trigger the fealty. And it's too late in the undo pattern, and I feel very confident in this matchup, so I'm just going to let the game play on rather than fixing the I forgot to trigger the fealty thing. He's sending a Parry Blade. I'm starting to think, all right, I got the loyalty beyond the grave. I probably should be throwing that out in defense because I have that and shelter. I know this card's gonna get go again. It's interesting that he uses refraction bolters to do it. But now I can block 7 with shelter and loyalty. I think the wage agility had an on hit that does something else, but I think maybe the on hit is just that it does a wager. Yeah, so he gets a gold and an agility. I'm gonna sling back Oath of Loyalty. And I think just Oath of Loyalty into Dragon Power because that card's strong. Although, I guess also I can send Hot on Their Heels. Oh, or no, I can flick on Oath of Loyalty. And then I can send the whole stack. Perfect. Flick, create a stain counter, Hot on Their Heels. So maybe my whole thing is like, it's tough to know when to use Blood Splattered Vest, but I think probably like use it. I don't know. It's tough. It's not like Tunic you want to use because then you get it back on cooldown. Blood Splattered Vest, you got 3 for the whole game, so you want to save them, but 3 is kind of a lot. So it's like Tunic, you're like, I'm always looking for an opportunity to use this, even if it's suboptimal, unless I'm playing a deck that is, I need a resource when I need a resource. Float Tunic for the whole game if I must. Blood Splattered is like, you can totally use 2 and then have 1 for that situation. There's very few decks that'll just blow it up. Like Jarl is like the one. I guess Cindra can kind of do it with like Art of the Dragon Scale, but that's not all that real. But yeah, he holds on to a bunch of cards. I send a big bam attack. I'm able to do my Cindra before the turn ends. And I have both my daggers and a 4-card hand. One of those cards is dual threat, which is cool. I can do Kunai Concealed Blade, like pitch Concealed Blade to Kunai, or Oath of Loyalty. Interestingly, Oath of Loyalty screws me up. Oh, no, it doesn't. Because I can do Oath of Loyalty, and I can make dual threat and Art of the Dragonfire Draconic with my fealties. So it's pitch Concealed Blade to Kunai. No, sorry. Oath of Loyalty, pitch Concealed Blade to Kunai. There's your 2. Fealty dual threat. Kunai for 4. Art of the Dragonfire. Fealty Art of the Dragonfire for 7 or something. But he only has 4 health. So I think I don't even get to that. There's somewhere in there that I should be flicking. Yeah, that's... He seems to be frozen. Yeah, so I did the thing I said I could do. And I finish on Art of the Dragonfire for 8. And because it's Draconic, it pings 2 damage. Oh, and I said good game. I thought the 2 damage ping would do it, but it's good that I actually was on point for that turn because he had... what? Some sort of aura that prevented. But yeah, that's it. So dual threat totally does work. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Peace.